See, what happens for most of us, it happened for me as well, is that we don't get inspired to take the right actions if we don't do the work on ourselves that has enough courage to take that type of action in that way, right? To go from be to do, you have to look at the person who's becoming. You have to look at the individual and say, how do I work on this individual's self-identity, this narrative, this concept of self, in order to be courageous enough to take the step that I need to take? I remember starting out, I called myself a best-selling author before I wrote a book. I called myself a best-selling author before I wrote a chapter. I called myself in the mirror a best-selling author before I knew how to start the process of writing and publishing a book. And the reason that I used the words that I use is because it wasn't that I necessarily leaned all the way on my affirmations, but I needed a spark that allowed me to remind myself of the identity that was necessary to then take the step to do the thing that would step into place at the right time. So when I used my words, when I used the word that I was using, I was talking to the future self saying, Isaac, I want to connect to you in the right way. But I know that the person that I am right now isn't ready. The only tool that I had was my voice. So when I wake up in the morning and I call myself a best-selling author before I even wrote a word, what I was doing is working on the crevices and the parts of myself that have yet to be developed and matured in a place and space to say, you are the best-selling author that you want to be. You are the person that you're supposed to be. I did put you in that position to then use your voice, use your skill to provide value to the people that are around you. But first, you have to do that for yourself. You have to put something on yourself. The onus is on your own shoulders. And how many times do we wrongly use, mistakenly use the power of our own word to speak to our reality instead of speaking to the future that we want to come true? That's the tool that we're using. So when we talk about speak your word with truth, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to believe that the first time. There's a future you that already exists inside that dream. You dwell inside that dream. Remember, when you talk about a dream, when I say D is for desire and R is for resilience and E is for excellence and A is for ambition and M is for motivation, because this is how we dream, but we dream big. B-I-G, believe in greatness. When you talk about a dream, the vision that is given to you is given to you for a reason. That's why each and every one of us have different dreams. There's different aspects of our lives. And when we look at that, we say, I want to become that, but I don't know how to. I don't have the steps. That's where we go wrong. Because we think we need the steps first. But you need an entire space. You need an entire season of dreaming. You need an entire season of talking to yourself. You need an entire season of delusion. You need a season of delusion because the former you is trying to grip on you so tight that the future you has no room to expand and take off in the world the way in which he should. So while you're speaking, what you're doing is you are trying to override the old narrative that is telling you that you can't do the very thing that you are claiming in your life right now. You're speaking. And every word that you're speaking, you are literally trying to transform. You are trying to change. You are trying to literally debilitate the old you so that the new you can be transformed, so that you can step into the world the way in which you need to. And this process takes time. This process takes transformation. This process takes courage. This process takes an ability to close your eyes and hold to the vision, even though you see a different set of circumstances that are around you immediately. When I told myself I'm a best-selling author, the only thing that I knew how to do in that moment was speak. I didn't have the steps. I didn't have the steps. So the first thing that you got to do when you have a dream is give yourself the permission to be delusional for a moment. Stick with it. Because if you keep talking to yourself long enough, the old you will get tired of that. And the new you will say, here I am. And then what happens? There's a shift in emotion. There's a shift in perspective, there's a shift in your confidence. There's a shift in your attitude. There's a shift in what you think is possible. You are now breaking the chains off the old limited thinking, and you are stepping into something new. So the new Isaac said, you know what? Maybe I don't know how to publish the book, but maybe I could just write a paragraph today. I don't know how to write a book, but if I wake up and put a routine together that allows me to work on chapter 1, I'm not working on every chapter at one time. If I could sit within my own space and develop the concepts and the ideas, and then what happens? You get the idea to reach out to someone who's done exactly what you want to do. And just by that connection, just by that contact, just by that frequency exchange, you start to think about new ideas. You see possibility where otherwise you used to see nothing. Give yourself permission to just see possibility for a moment. This is the first step of making your dream a reality. Little by little, you take the steps. Little by little, you see the momentum. Little by little, you see yourself becoming exactly who you've called. And that future reality begins to feel like a present situation. It doesn't happen all at once. You will fall back. You will have moments that it's more difficult than other days to see that reality. But it's the repetition. It's the repetition. Your routine creates your rhythm. Your routine creates your rhythm. I love the quote that says, the man makes the routine and then the routine makes the man. So you begin to fall in a new routine where you are working progressively towards that ideal situation. Not all at once, but you're gaining momentum. I love the quote that says, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Success is the progressive realization. That means success is not about the destination. It's about your journey. It's a worthy ideal. That means it's the vision that you've created for yourself that you deemed worthy. When we go from dream to reality, the first thing that you have to do is give yourself the space to be delusional long enough. The second thing that happens is you begin to take actions, small steps that allow you to feel the future reality as your present moment. The courage begins to build. And then you speak different. You talk different. You think different. You begin to build confidence with yourself because of the steps that you are taking.